From releasing Derek Carr to trading Darren Waller, the Las Vegas Raiders have done a lot of things in the offseason, but will it translate to more wins in this upcoming season? Let's talk about it. The biggest move this team made was letting Derek Carr go and going into a new direction with Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo is not a top-end quarterback in the NFL, but he's not a horrible option at all. He's a good quarterback. He's not going to be the sole reason you lose football games, but he's going to be a steady quarterback that can get you to the playoffs, even push you further on, depending on how your defense is and the talent around him. In his case, he has former ties with the head coach, Josh McDaniels. He was a former backup for Tom Brady when he was with the Patriots. And then they traded him off to the San Francisco 49ers, had a decent career with the 49ers, made a Super Bowl. They lost the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs. So he should be very good in this system and should be very productive with this team, with the weapons that they have around him. And speaking of those weapons, Josh Jacobs was the best running back in football last season, led the league in rushing, 1,653 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 yards a carry. I expect for them to still run the football a lot with Josh Jacobs. The turnovers should be cut in half than what they were with Derek Carr, for the simple fact that Derek Carr did not fit Josh McDaniels' system. Jimmy Garoppolo does. He does deal with turnover problems at certain points in times, but it doesn't deal with it at the same degree as Derek Carr of what he did last year. And having a strong run game will help out with that. You also have one of the best wide receivers in the league still in Davante Adams. Doesn't matter who's throwing him the football. Last year, he had another career year, 1,516 yards, and led the league in receiving touchdowns with 14. And you did bring in Jacoby Myers, who is a former Patriots wide receiver. And don't get it messed up. Just because he has ties with Josh McDaniels, he's a very good wide receiver. 804 yards last season and 6 touchdowns. And that is what he was able to do when he was solely the number one option for that Patriots team. Now you bring him over to the Raiders to where Davante Adams is going to get double covered. He can now get a lot of one-on-one opportunities. You can put him inside and outside the slot. And you still have Hunter Renfrow, dealt with injuries last season, but he's proven in years prior that he could be a very productive wide receiver as well. So the offense is very good and should be able to keep his head above water. Last year, the offense was able to go down the field and score a lot of points. That wasn't the problem. The problem was this. They blew a lot of leads. When they would get up on teams, the play calling went down. There was a lot of confusing things that were going on. I looked at Arizona Cardinals game. The pass rush disappeared. Looked at the Kansas City Chiefs game that Monday night. The play calling wasn't up to par. The defense let them down. And then one of the last plays of the game, they want to throw the football to Davante Adams instead of run the football with your red-hot running back in Josh Jacobs. That is where I have a problem with Josh McDaniels. I think Dave Ziegler has done the right thing by getting the right talent on his team and selecting the right guys in the draft. I'm going to touch on that draft in just a second. But I think long-term, it's a huge question mark with Josh McDaniels. I know that Josh McDaniels is a very good play caller. He's a very good offensive coordinator, but that's different from being a good head coach. And if his track record and history proves anything, he's going to flame out very quickly with the Raiders. Wasn't that impressive with the Denver Broncos, and when he was with at the time, the St. Louis Rams, it wasn't the best either. I'm rooting for this team to finally get over the hump, because you look at this Raiders team for the last couple of years, it's been the same thing over and over again. Good offense, bad defense, can't get to the quarterback, blow leads. That's been the biggest thing. They did make a playoff appearance a couple years ago against the Houston Texans, and Derek Carr was out with a leg injury. But besides that, I'm just scratching my head. And they did make the playoffs they had the whole John Gruden situation and Henry Ruggs. They made the playoffs and they were one and done against Cincinnati Bengals right at the goal line. Derek Carr throws an interception. That was a very impressive year, but I'm expecting more from this Raiders team long term. Hopefully they can get back to those days where they can stop the run, the offense, get them over the top. They just need this defense to go back there and pressure the quarterback. Getting Michael Mayer at the tight end position is a very good thing for this team. Before I touch on the defense, that was a very good pickup in the second round. You traded Darren Waller away to the New York Giants. Good move for both teams. Couldn't stay healthy with the team. And Josh McDaniels wasn't a big fan of him. Bringing in Michael Mayer, a guy that can block, be more of a complete tight end than Darren Waller. Not saying that he would be better than Darren Waller, but he's a guy that can go out there, block for you very well, catch the football, and do some things in open space for you. It's not as athletic as Darren Waller, but it'll be more of a complete tight end and fits more of what Josh McDaniels wants to do. Now, when I talk about this defense, besides Mad Max Crosby, they left a lot to be desired last year. The defense let this team down. Max Crosby had 12.5 sacks last year and 3 forced fumbles. He was very good. They couldn't stop the run, and they struggled against the pass as well. Chandler Jones dealt with injuries last season, and he isn't getting any younger. 4.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. So going and getting Tyree Wilson in the first round was excellent for this team. Defensive end from Texas Tech. The best way for this Raiders team to compete in this division and try to get over the top is to go back there and put pressure on these quarterbacks such as Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, and the almighty quarterback in this division, Patrick Mahomes. That is the best way to try to beat these teams in the division. They are in a loaded division. They have the offense that can keep on pace with the teams in this division. Their defense is the worst in the division, and they need to get it rectified. And I think that's what they're doing right now, trying to build through the trenches and trying to control the line of scrimmage. Tyree Wilson needs to come in and hit the ground running immediately. I think that he could be a guy that's going to immediately stop the run, generate a lot of pressure, and help out Max Crosby. The biggest thing is with this Raiders team, I understand that the getting Tyree Wilson, for some people, they were unhappy with that. They wanted Christian Gonzalez. You can have a very good secondary, but if the pass rush isn't good, the secondary isn't going to look good. But if you have a very good pass rush, it can make an average secondary look really good because guys don't have to cover as long. And I like some of the guys that they have in their secondary. I really do. I like Nate Hobbs. I think that he's a good corner on this team. Trevon Moring is a good developing safety for this team in the free safety position. So they have guys in the secondary that can make some plays. Getting Robert Swain in the linebacking position isn't a guy that's going to be great in coverage, but he can do some good things in the run defense department. So I think that they've done the right things in free agency. I just don't know if this team can compete and make the NFL playoffs. I'm not going to come out here and say that because of how tough their division is and the uncertainty with the play calls of Josh McDaniels. But one thing I do know, if they didn't blow the leads that they blew last year, this team would have been in the playoffs for sure. That Cardinals game, the pass rush disappeared. Kyler Murray is just back there dancing around for more than 10 seconds at a time late in the game. He's just running around doing whatever he wants to do. You blew the lead against the Kansas City Chiefs that Monday night. And they also blew the lead against Baker Mayfield and crew in that Los Angeles Rams team on a Thursday night football game. It was just a horrible time for the Las Vegas Raiders last year. It's like they were cursed. And obviously, certain situations didn't help with Derek Carr having the high turnovers and bad things that happened, just bad luck happened to the team. But as a head coach, you have to find a way to hold on to the lead, run the football more with Josh Jacobs if the run game is working, and don't try to get cute and over-target wide receivers. That was the biggest thing that I saw last year. It was like they were trying to force feed Devontae Adams a lot when they didn't need to, when other guys were open. And that was more of a Derek Carr issue, but it was still an issue because a lot of the play calls were designed to just go to Devontae Adams over and over again. Open the offense up and give other guys opportunities. If Hunter Renfrow can stay healthy, he would definitely help out with that because he's a guy that can eat up single coverage and is amazing when he's going against zone coverage. But they have to make sure that he is healthy. But I think this Raiders team will be competitive in the NFL. They will be a very week-to-week team for the simple fact Jimmy Garoppolo, last couple of years, have struggled to stay healthy. But if he can stay on the field, I think that they have a really good shot of being a very good football team and being better than what they were last year. This is year 2 for Josh McDaniels. He may be on a long leash with ownership, but a lot of things and a lot of reports came out last year that they are very unhappy how the season started and how it finished. So let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about the Las Vegas Raiders? Is Josh McDaniels the right coach long term? And how do you feel about this team moving forward? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, we want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.